If you're on the market for office space, it's important to know the difference between rentable and usable square footage before negotiating your lease. Hi, my name's Emily Grigsby, and I'm an associate here at AQUILA Commercial. Today, I'd like to explain the difference between usable square footage and rentable square footage and why it's important to understand the two when looking for office space. When it comes to deciding the amount of office space you need for a commercial lease, there are two different terms you should know: rentable square footage and usable square footage. Each describes the square footage in a space differently and can have a significant effect on what you're getting for your money. Because AQUILA wants you to secure the best deal possible for your business, let's break down each of these so you can use the correct measurement when evaluating your budget. The usable square footage of the space is defined as the total area unique to the tenant. Think of this space as specifically set aside for your company's use. Once you walk into your suite, the area inside is considered usable square footage. Unless you are a full floor tenant who has private access to everything, you will most likely be sharing access to areas such as hallways, lobbies, and fitness facilities, which do not count towards your usable square footage. For the most part, what does count towards your usable square footage is the space between the walls of your suite. Understanding usable square footage is important because it's the most important number to use to make sure the size of the space meets the needs of your organization. If you're thinking about relocating your office, check out the article linked below that explains exactly what you need to know if you're considering an office relocation. Now let's talk about rentable square footage and why it matters. Rentable square footage is defined as usable square footage plus a portion of the building's common space. Common spaces are areas usable by all tenants in the building and do include those hallways, lobbies, and fitness facilities, among many others. Rentable square footage is what is used to determine your annual base rent expense. As a tenant, your rent will likely include an additional fee that is proportional to how much of the building space you will be occupying. Let's learn how to calculate rentable square footage. Rentable square footage is equal to your usable square footage plus the common area multiplied by the percentage of the total building square footage you are occupying. For example, if you lease 10,000 square feet in a 100,000 square foot building, your pro rata share would be 10% of the building's common area, which will be added to your usable square footage. If the building has 20,000 square feet of common area, you would be financially responsible for 10% of the 20,000 square feet, which equals 2,000 square feet. Add that back to your usable square footage, and your total rentable square footage equals 12,000 square feet. Consider the cost you are sharing with other tenants to use the building's facilities. If you're having trouble understanding your commercial lease, we put together an overview of the most common lease terms and negotiation points in the market today, which is also linked below. Knowing the difference between usable and rentable square footage is an important distinction that can help you secure the best rate possible on your next commercial lease. For more details, including tips on how to secure a better lease, check out our article in the AQUILA Learning Center. Best of luck, and remember, no one knows Austin better than AQUILA.